everyone is signing here. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Let's get started. Okay, so first, we're going to fold our fabric into four. Two pieces for the back and two pieces for the front. Also, the width of your fold should be up to your lap or thigh, depending on what you want to call it. Lap or thigh divided by 2 plus 1 inch allowance. This is me checking to be sure. I'm going to be marking it down. I'm connecting it with my ruler. I just need my lap divided by 2 plus 1 inch allowance. Then I'm taking the length of my trouser. But before I do this, I'm going to remove my tape 1.5 inch above because I want to attach a band of 1.5 inches. So I'll remove my tape 1.5 inch above. Then I'll mark my waist to hip first. I'll mark my flap measurement. Then I'll mark my length. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Remove your tape 1.5 inch above or 2 inch, depending on how long or how big you want your band, your waistband to be. So I'll use my straight ruler to connect my waist to hip line. So that's my hip line. I'll connect this, and this is my flap line. Then my full length. The next thing I will do is to measure my hip divided by 4. My hip divided by 4 plus 1. I'm going to mark this on my waistline. I'll mark it on my hip line, and I'll also mark it on my flap line. Then on my flap line, I'm going to mark my lap divided by 2 plus half. Remember, I folded with lap divided by 2 plus 1, but now I'm going to mark lap divided by 2 plus half. Then those hip divided by 4 plus 1 I marked, I'm going to make a straight line to connect it. It was looking like it's more than, so I'm trying to be sure. So always be sure of your measurement because it's going to affect your sizing. So I'm connecting this, and this is going to be my flap line again. Now I'm going out by 1 inch and going up by 1 inch. I want to make a flap curve. So you can use your free hand or you can use your French curve depending. So I'm connecting this to the 1 inch and also extending it further to the lap divided by 2 plus half inch I made. Now when I'm done on the waistline, I'll measure my waist divided by 4 plus 1 inch allowance. I'm using 1 inch allowance on my sides. Then I already have my hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch on my hip line, and I also have the same measurements on my flap line. So that's fine. Now on the full length line, okay, before then I'm going to connect my waist to my waist point to my hip point using my slight curve rule. Please look at how I'm placing this. You don't want it to look weird. So you're supposed to have that hippie curve. Don't place it the other way around. Place it the way I'm placing it. Now on the waistline, I'll come down by 1 inch. This is only for the front part. Only for the front part. Because your front is lower than your back. Only for the front part. When I'm cutting, I'm going to do the cutting only for the front part, please. Trying to be sure that you're seeing this chalk. I don't know how visible it is. Now on the full length line, I'm going to go in by 2.5 inch on the open part and 2 inch on the closed part. Just know that whatever you're doing, you're going 0.5 inch less on the folded part and 0.5 inch higher on the open part. So for me, I'm going 2.5 on the open part and 2 on the folded part. So if you're going 1 inch that side, you're going to go 0.5 inch on this side. That's what I mean. You can also leave the leg of your trouser like that anyway and connect back to your flap line. Back to your flap line in a slant manner. Back to your flap line, please. You do this for the other side too. This point to that point. Now I think we're done. Not I think, I know we are done with our front pattern. Now on that flap line, I'm supposed to extend by 3 inch. But I don't know if you're going to see this, but I'm supposed to extend the flap line. I don't know if you're going to see that. I'm supposed to extend the full length line also. But I'm thinking I'm going to be needing to cut the front pattern first so we'll not get confused. Just only the front pattern so we'll not get confused. We'll not remove it from the back pattern. It will still be on top of the back piece. But let's just cut it off so that you get a clearer view of what I'm about to do. Okay, now we are done. This is the back and the front. So now on the every other line, you mark 2 inches out from the front pattern. You mark 2 inches out. But when you get to the flap line, because I'm making for a plus size, I'm going to go out by 3 inches. Normally it's supposed to be 2. From size 10, 8, you can do 2. But making for a size 16, you connect it back to the 3 inches you made. Now down 2 inches again, further down. You're going down by 2 inches again. Now you notice that while cutting, because I went down by 1 inch on the front part, I will still cut my back normally. I won't go down by 1 inch on the back because the back is higher than the front. But every other thing aligns. Now I'm cutting, you see, 2 inches up from the down part, getting to the flap line. I'm going out 3 inches. Following the curve I made for the back. This because we're putting our zipper at the back. So you see, this is it. So this is the back and front. Now on the flap line, you've been needing to open up that place because you don't need it to be together. You don't really need it to be together. So you open it for the front and open it for the back. Okay, for the sewing part, see you in the next video. I'll be showing you how to make this step by step. Put your band, put your zip. Stay tuned, guys. Subscribe, like, and thank you.